Some people think marriage into a wealthy family means instant access to the family fortune. My sister-in-law Vanessa was about to learn this lesson the hard way. My name is Isabella Martinez, and this is the story of how a trust fund manager helped expose the truth about my late husband's inheritance. When I married Michael Anderson 5 years ago, I knew I was marrying into old money. The Andersons had built their fortune over 3 generations, turning a small investment firm into a financial empire worth over $50 million. What I didn't expect was the drama that would unfold after Michael's tragic death. Michael's sister Vanessa had always resented that her younger brother had been chosen to lead Anderson Investments. While Michael had earned his MBA and worked his way up through various departments, Vanessa had spent her trust fund allowance on luxury cars and failed fashion boutiques. "It's not fair," she complained during family dinners. "I'm the eldest. I should be running the company." What Vanessa never understood was that the Anderson fortune came with responsibilities, not just privileges. Their father, William Anderson, had structured the family trusts carefully, ensuring the money would be managed by those who understood its value. Michael took those responsibilities seriously. Even after we married, he insisted on living modestly compared to our means, focusing on growing the company rather than spending frivolously. "Money doesn't mean much if you don't use it wisely," he would say, echoing his father's teachings. Then came the accident. Michael was flying back from a business meeting when his private plane went down in bad weather. I lost my husband, my best friend, and the father of our unborn child in an instant. The funeral was barely over when Vanessa started making her moves. She showed up at my house with her lawyer, waving what she claimed was Michael's most recent will. "As his only sibling, I inherit everything," she announced. "You'll need to move out of the house by the end of the month." I was still deep in grief, but something about her claim didn't add up. Michael and I had discussed our estate planning in detail, especially after learning I was pregnant. He had been very clear about his wishes. "Let me see that will," I said, reaching for the document. Vanessa snatched it back. "You'll get a copy through your lawyer. For now, all you need to know is that Michael left everything to me. The house, the company's shares, all the accounts, everything." I noticed her designer outfit was new, probably purchased just for this performance. Same old Vanessa, always dressing for the role she thought she deserved. "We'll need to go to the bank," she continued. "I want all accounts transferred to my name immediately." The next morning, we met at Anderson National Bank, where the family's trusts were managed. Vanessa strutted in like she already owned the place, her heels clicking on the marble floor. Mr. Phillips, the trust fund manager who had worked with the Anderson family for 30 years, greeted us in the conference room. His face was carefully neutral as Vanessa presented her documents. "As you can see," she said smugly, "Michael left everything to me. I'll need all accounts transferred by the end of business today." Mr. Phillips glanced at me, then slowly opened his briefcase. "Before we proceed, there are some other documents you need to see." He pulled out a thick folder. 3 months ago, Michael came to me with specific instructions about the family trusts. He was very clear about how everything should be handled in the event of his death. Vanessa waved her will impatiently. "That doesn't matter. This is more recent." "Actually," Mr. Phillips said, "it matters a great deal. You see, most of the assets you're claiming weren't Michael's to give away in the first place." He spread out several documents on the table. The Anderson family fortune is held in a series of irrevocable trusts established by your father. Michael was the trustee, not the owner. Upon his death, control passes according to the trust terms, not his personal will. Vanessa's face began to pale as Mr. Phillips continued his explanation. "Furthermore," he said, pulling out another document, "Michael did update his estate plan recently. He established a new trust for his unborn child, transferring most of his personal assets into it. Isabella is named as trustee until the child turns 25. "That's impossible." Vanessa's voice rose to a shriek. "He didn't even know about the baby when he died." "He knew," I said quietly. "We found out 3 months ago. It's why he came to see Mr. Phillips." Tears began streaming down Vanessa's face, smearing her expensive makeup. But what about the company?" Surely I'll run Anderson Investments now. Mr. Phillips shook his head. The company's shares are held in the family trust. According to the terms your father established, the CEO must have both an MBA and at least 10 years of experience in finance. Do you meet those qualifications, Ms. Anderson? We all knew she didn't. Vanessa had never worked a day in her life, preferring to live off her trust fund allowance. The board of directors will appoint a new CEO, Mr. Phillips continued. Until then, the executive committee will manage operations. This isn't fair. Vanessa was fully crying now. I'm his sister. His only family. That's not true either, I said, placing a hand on my stomach. And Michael made sure his actual family would be taken care of. Mr. Phillips pushed a box of tissues toward Vanessa and continued. The will you're holding, we should discuss that. Our forensics team has some concerns about its authenticity. Vanessa's lawyer, who had been silent until now, suddenly stood up. My client needs to step out for a moment. I think that's wise, Mr. Phillips agreed. Because the next part of this conversation will involve the police. Vanessa grabbed her designer handbag and practically ran from the room, her lawyer hurrying after her. Through the glass walls, I could see her mascara-streaked face as she jabbed at her phone, probably calling whoever had helped her create the fake will. I'm sorry you had to go through this, Mr. Phillips said once we were alone. Michael was very concerned about Vanessa trying something like this. That's why he was so careful with the documentation. I nodded, remembering how Michael had insisted on updating all our estate plans as soon as we learned about the pregnancy. He had known his sister well. The next few weeks were challenging. Vanessa's forged will led to a police investigation, which revealed she had paid a desperate law clerk to create the document. She had assumed that with Michael gone, no one would question her right to the family fortune. What she hadn't counted on was Michael's careful planning and Mr. Phillips's dedication to protecting the Anderson legacy. The forged will wasn't just a crime, it was an insult to everything the family had built. The family's lawyers were quick to act. Vanessa's trust fund allowance was suspended pending the criminal investigation. Her access to family properties and accounts was revoked. For the first time in her life, she had to face real consequences for her actions. You're ruining me, she screamed during one particularly dramatic phone call. Michael would never want this. Michael wanted his child to inherit what generations of Andersons built. I replied calmly. He loved you, Vanessa, but he knew you weren't ready for the responsibility. The criminal charges were serious. Forgery, attempted fraud, and conspiracy could have sent her to prison. But remembering Michael's compassionate nature, I agreed to a deal. Vanessa would admit her crimes, seek counseling, and learn to support herself. Her trust fund wasn't permanently revoked, but it was restructured. Instead of a monthly allowance, she would receive matching funds for any income she earned through legitimate work. It was time for Vanessa to learn the value of money by earning it herself. 6 months later, Michael and I's daughter was born. We named her Sophia William Anderson, honoring both her father and grandfather. Mr. Phillips became her godfather, a recognition of his role in protecting her inheritance. Vanessa didn't meet her niece until Sophia was 3 months old. By then, she had started working as an entry-level marketing assistant, her first real job at age 35. The humility of earning minimum wage had begun to change her. She looks just like Michael, Vanessa said softly, watching Sophia sleep. I'm so sorry, Isabella. I let greed blind me to what really matters. The Anderson family fortune remained secure in its carefully structured trusts. The company thrived under new leadership, chosen for competence rather than family connections. And slowly, Vanessa began to understand that being an Anderson meant more than just having access to money. Mr. Phillips continued to manage the family trusts with the same dedication he'd always shown. His office wall now holds a picture of him holding baby Sophia, a reminder of why protecting family legacies matters. Your daddy was a wise man, he tells her during our visits to the bank. He knew that true wealth isn't just about money. It's about values, responsibility, and family. The fake will that Vanessa had thought would give her everything now sits in a police evidence locker, a reminder that some shortcuts come with heavy prices. Her lawyer was disbarred for his role in the scheme, and the law clerk who helped forge the documents served 6 months in jail. Vanessa's transformation wasn't instant, but it was genuine. After a year of working regular jobs, she discovered she had a talent for event planning. With her natural social skills and newly developed work ethic, she started building her own business, legitimately this time. "I never knew how satisfying it would be to earn something myself," she admitted during a family dinner. "Michael tried to tell me, but I wouldn't listen." The Anderson family fortune grew stronger for having weathered Vanessa's attempt to steal it. The trusts Michael had established for Sophia ensure she'll grow up understanding both privilege and responsibility, just as her father had. Mr. Phillips retired last year, but not before teaching his successor everything about the Anderson family's complex trust structures. At his retirement party, he shared something Michael had told him during their last meeting. "Money is just paper," Michael had said, "but legacy is about teaching the next generation its true value." Sophia is 4 now, already showing signs of her father's intelligence and sense of responsibility. She loves visiting the company offices, where employees still speak of Michael with respect and affection. Vanessa's event planning business has become successful enough that she rarely needs to use her trust fund matching anymore. She's found satisfaction in building something of her own, finally understanding what Michael had tried to teach her about the value of work. The conference room where Vanessa's scheme unraveled is now named the Michael Anderson Room, a subtle reminder that integrity matters more than inheritance. Mr. Phillips's successor keeps the same careful watch over the family trusts, ensuring they continue to serve their intended purpose. Sometimes when I watch Sophia playing in what would have been her father's office, I think about that day at the bank. Vanessa's tears weren't just about losing the money. They were the beginning of her understanding that true wealth isn't what you're given, but what you earn and protect. The Anderson family fortune remains substantial, but its real value lies in the lessons it teaches each generation. Michael's careful planning ensured that his daughter will grow up understanding both the privileges and responsibilities of her inheritance. Vanessa still attends family functions, now as a successful businesswoman in her own right rather than just a trust fund recipient. She's become the kind of Aunt Michael would have wanted for Sophia, teaching her niece about entrepreneurship and the satisfaction of earning your own way. The trust fund manager's revelations that day did more than just stop a theft. They sparked a transformation that strengthened the entire Anderson legacy. Sometimes the best inheritances aren't the ones written in wills, but the lessons learned along the way. Mr. Phillips's retirement gift to Sophia was a special trust fund designed to match any money she earns from her own entrepreneurial efforts when she's older. It's structured like the one that helped change her aunt's life, ensuring that the next generation of Andersons understands the value of work. The Anderson family story continues, shaped by Michael's wisdom even after his death. The fortune he protected has become more than money. It's a tool for teaching values that matter more than wealth itself. And in the end, that's what Michael truly left us. Not just millions in carefully managed trusts, but a legacy of integrity, responsibility, and the understanding that real wealth lies in what you build, not what you're given. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.